Blessings, YouTube family. Wagwan, it's Darian and Marilyn, your distant relatives. We are here to give you traveling tips to Africa. But before I do, we've been noticing that we have 1 to 5 likes, and we know a lot of people who are supporting us on this channel, and we just want to remind you that it not cost nothing if you hit the like button. So please hit the like button, hit the subscribe, support us. It's like we have 50 views but 1 like or 5 likes. Before you watch the video, just hit the like. We're trying to grow this page. Our goal now is to reach 200 subscribers. Thank you for getting us to 150. We got to 150. No, now we're at 160, but now the next goal is 200. Big up on yourself. Big up the subscribers for supporting us. We're gonna keep sharing our experiences and sharing the knowledge that we have, and hopefully we inspire those out there. And diasporans, please, if you're in South America, UK, bring yourself to Africa, please, even for a month, 2 weeks. Traveling tips. First tip is visas.
Yes. So if you've been following our channel, you will see the previous video about me being extra pissed at the airport because of our visas, and you never want to experience this. I don't want any of you watching this. I don't want anyone in the world to experience what we experienced with our overstaying your visa in a pandemic time when all of the immigration offices are closed and you don't speak the language and you don't have cash on you, and it's just a hot mess. So
and you're in a place where you can't bribe nobody.
Yeah, and you're in a place where you can't bribe anyone. So let me just say, if you're traveling to an African country from the Western Hemisphere or Europe, most likely you're going to have a layover in Europe, or you're going to have a layover in Ethiopia. Like, that's just like simple. Like, you're going to have a layover in one of those places. So my suggestion is that if you're having a layover in Ethiopia and you're going to a next country, just get your Ethiopian visa, just in case. You know what I mean? And if you're going to the next country, say you're going to Ghana, get the longest visa you can.
The multi-year.
Yeah, get the multi-entry visa, the one that's the longest one.
It's cheaper too at the end of the day.
It's cheaper to just get the longest one. You're going to save in the long run, and you're going to save yourself time. You're going to save yourself emotional drainage.
Energy.
You're going to save yourself energy. So the advice that we give to you is to not do what we did, and not just traveling during a pandemic, but like getting stuck in a country where the immigration offices are closed, and then you have those type of issues. So.
Yeah, and even if you're traveling to Africa, you may not have it in your plan to go to another country, but for instance, Marilyn, she was trying to manifest like somebody with an airplane or whatever. Just say you bump into somebody with a small airplane or a boat, and they're like, yo, we're going to this next country, or someone even driving on a trip or something, and you decide to go. It's like, boom, I already got a visa, a long multi-year visa in another country. It sounds ridiculous and it sounds expensive, but I feel like it just makes sense to get multiple country multi-year visas, because if you're coming from these other countries, you could get 2 years, 5 years, depending on what country, and it's just beneficial, and it's going to encourage you to go see more countries. And that's a beauty. Our situation was unique because we said, Corona, fuck that, we still gonna travel. So we knew that we were gonna deal with some effort, but we want to share our experiences with those out there who want to hear it, so you can avoid it when it's time for you to travel to the Godtinent.
Definitely.
All right, what's next?
I think essentials.
Essentials. You want to touch on that, or?
No, it's all you.
Okay. All right. When you're going to Africa, make sure you bring your essentials. Like if you care about fluoride, if you care about chemicals in your soap or your shampoo, your lotion, or just whatever. If you care about the gum you chew, like certain things that you have here in America, or you know, in these quote unquote colonial countries, you won't get there. And if you can get it there, it's going to be very expensive. And the things that you can get there, it's heavy chemicaled, you know. You know what I found interesting? That, you know, Coca-Cola or Sprite in Africa has less chemicals, I believe, at least.
No, it does.
Oh, okay.
It's not made with high fructose corn syrup.
Oh, okay. Well, the Sprite that I drank out there, it was just like,
banging.
It was just like, it just tastes, you could taste 2 to 3 ingredients, but our sodas out here have so many ingredients. But anyways, I'm getting off task. Bring things that you need and you care about with you on your trip. We don't bring luggage with us. We bring backpacks. So it's like hard for us to bring. But now we know, you know, one small extra luggage with essentials won't hurt, you know, even though it's annoying to us. But it's very helpful when you get there, especially if you care about chemicals.
Definitely. And essentials meaning like shampoo and conditioner that's natural or made, you know, with organic materials. Soap, like Dr. Bronner soap, something that, you know, doesn't have polyethylene glycol, and deodorant, bring your own deodorant.
Nothing with EDTA.
Yeah, nothing with EDTA, polyethylene glycol, parabens, sulfates, all that stuff. Your toothpaste, if you go to an African country, unfortunately, you're going to be exposed to fluoride. Like, that's the thing. Obviously, like, their healthcare is far behind what we have in the States or in Europe, unfortunately, but that's what their governments are giving their people. And if you don't want to be exposed to fluoride, then bring your own stuff. Bring a natural toothpaste, or make your own toothpaste, or just use like a miswak or whatever.
Or just lastly, understand that you're going to pay a foreigner price for it, which they raise the price, like they're probably making like 85% profit off of something that they know a foreigner needs.
Definitely.
Which if you know, want to save, just bring your product, because it's a lot cheaper in your country. Next thing is tip number 3 is bring cash. If you have pounds, bring your pounds. If you have US dollars, bring your dollars.
Your euros.
Just bring it.
Dollars, yen.
Just bring cash, and don't just bring cash for your hotel stay and your food stay or your fun stay. You know what? You that stuff you need, use a debit card and draw the money from the ATM. This cash that we're telling you to bring is for emergency purposes. For damn, what's the word I'm looking for? Not bargaining, but for bribing purposes. You know, bring extra cash for bribing purposes. Bring extra cash for you don't know what the hell about to happen purposes. Bring extra cash. We found black markets where, you know, for instance, if for instance, in Ethiopia, $1 US ranges from 30 to 33 birr at the bank, or, you know, not black market. But if you bring $1 to the black market, 1 Ethiopian birr is 40 to 44 birr. $1 US is 40 birr to 44, and that's a big difference. Like, when we were there, it made a big difference when, you know, you get to connect and go to the black market. I don't recommend anyone going to the black market, you know, and if you do, you have to roll with the tugs them so they can do what they do. But, you know, bring extra cash for, you know, not hotel, not food, not for fun, but for those things that I mentioned. Anything you want to touch on that?
Yeah. You never know what's going to happen. I'm not saying that, like, going there, it's like crazy shit's gonna happen to you. No. Like, that's not true at all. But, like, even when you're traveling, you're going on your splendid European vacation, or you're going on your nice South American, Mexican vacation, you still should bring extra cash. You just never know what's going to happen, and I think it's best, like, you have your spending money, you have your money for your hotel, you have everything already, all your ducks in a row, but just have an extra set of cash just in case. Just tuck it away somewhere, put it in a pants pocket that no one will find, and just keep it there just in case of anything.
Yeah. You don't know what can happen, you know. Tip number 4.
Yeah.
Tip number 4 is solar powered devices. You know, we brought a solar power battery packs. We brought solar power lantern. And when we were in Ethiopia, it was rainy season. So literally we were just like, yo, can you imagine if we never had these?
I would have been beat.
Yeah. And
you always kept your phone charged, but me, I let my phone die.
Yeah. So it's just very important to bring solar powered things. Literally, Ethiopia's sun was not as strong as I was thinking, but you know, it depends on the solar powered devices you bring, but it works, you know. And we had the building that we were staying in, if the lights went out, we lost water because it was connected to a water pump.
That was electric.
That it was electric. We lost electricity as far as light goes, and we lost cooking abilities, and because the stove that was in our unit was electric. But luckily we had neighbors who had like cold stoves, so it's like, it's not that we went hungry. I don't think going hungry or not being able to eat it will be an issue. It's more so if you're not used to just, you know, being with yourself and you're like twiddling your thumbs. We're coming from the Babylonian area, so you know, we love our phones, so it's like if your phone dies, you're gonna have to figure out something new to do. So, you know, just save yourself, purchase a battery pack. I'm gonna actually put the link below in our description. I'll put a couple links below of devices that we have, and go ahead and just purchase it. And also too, just purchase it here if you live in America or live in Europe, because if you go hiking, it helps when you're out and about. The lights don't go out too much here, but it's just good to have these devices just in case. And tip number 5, credit cards.
Oh my goodness, y'all! You will see on my previous video how I feel about a certain institution. They are some trash. I use the word trash a lot.
Yeah.
But make sure that you are banking, like if you have a credit card, make sure that they have your best interests at hand.
Yeah.
Make sure that they have a good fraudulent they have good fraud capabilities. They listen to their customers, that if something gets charged to your card twice and you call them, there's no issue. Like make sure you have a banking institution that's looking out for the customer, because at the end of the day, like, why are you banking with someone who's not really for you? Why are you with someone who's not for you?
Yeah.
You know, so you want to make sure that because especially I know, like,
okay. Another tip on the credit cards, because
so mad. I hate Barclays.
But the bank them. But the next tip on the credit cards is that, you know, don't just bring one credit card, bring 2, a minimum of 2. And the reason why, one time, you know, we back to the cash thing, is that your cash is important. So if you could find a way where, you know, you're keeping your cash and you're using your card. Some grocery stores might accept your card, or some stores or restaurant might accept your card. And, you know, the card that we had, there wasn't any exchange fees. So when we swiped it, the bank or something wasn't working. So we had another card and it worked. So it's like always having backup cards. Oh, when we stayed at an Airbnb, our one card wasn't working, but the other card did. And it's just that, like, if your debit card might not work, it's just protecting you. These tips that we're giving you is just to, you know, keep in mind. And you want to play chess. You want to play chess, not checkers, when you're going to Africa. You want to be, you know, in power at all times. And one thing with this trip is that, like, it was our first time, and you know, we've been talking about this topic of, you know, like, we're the first generation of, like, learning all these things. I don't know nobody in my family who's even left certain areas. You know, they've only gone to their home country and back to Babylon. But it's not that nothing's wrong with that, but, like, we are first generation, like, learning all these things. And You know, it's taxing, you know, learning how to unlearn all these things and relearn new things. But, you know, once you learn, it's a lesson, it's not a loss, and you just have to move forward and realize you're playing chess. And now that you know what to do, you're going to be making good moves going forward. Anything else to touch on that? But just bring extra cards to protect yourself. And we have 2 more tips for you. I don't know if we're at tip 5 or 6. I forgot the number count, but let's say we're at tip 6 or 5 or 6. Open mind.
Oh yeah.
Just you know, shout out one of our Sistrians, Walete Selassie. You know, when we were in Gurji in Ethiopia, she was talking to us, and she was like, you know, these were like the first days of us being in Ethiopia, and she was just saying, you know, here, now that you're at the Godtinent, she's been living there for 9 years now, and she was just saying, now that you're on the Godtinent, you need to have an open mind and overlook a lot of things, you know, because you're going to be experiencing like certain hardships that can drive you crazy, but you need to overlook it because there's more to hear that the eye can see. And, you know, once she said more advice, but that advice, we literally like immediately, it was like the next day we were like,
yeah.
Oh, we have to overlook this.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to overlook that. Oh, we got to overlook that. And it's like, you start to see that, and it teaches you something, because in America, it's like, you know, like that commercial, I want my money and I need it now. You know, it's like we have a demand here, you know, and the demand is met. You know, there, you know, if you don't have to go to the store, you could just order it online. You don't have to do that. You could just do this. You have so many options. But in Africa, it's like the option that you may have may not be what exactly you're looking for, and you have to overlook these things. And you know, having an open mind is very important. Anything you want to touch on this?
Yeah, like, don't expect to be treated, well, not to be treated, don't expect to have everything that you have here there.
Yeah, and not that we did that, but it's just like,
no, but I mean, I guess because I'm very naive and I didn't know, but I was just like expecting certain things, like
what's one thing I wasn't expecting?
I'm trying to think.
Like, one place we stayed at had a suicide shower, you know, and they said,
oh yeah,
they
like,
said
what's advertised is definitely like not what you're going to get.
Yeah,
like you have to go see it for yourself
first. Yeah, and make sure you take your time to look at something. And for instance, the example that she's speaking of is, we found a place that we wanted to stay in, and they said, oh, we have hot water, Wi-Fi, this, we have. But in their head, the reason why they're saying they have is because they have US dollars in front of them. So, you know, that's more important to them than what they actually have. Yeah. So they'll get you but eventually they'll get you what you need, but they're just telling you that they have what they have when they don't really have. And if they do have it, it's in their version of what they have.
Yeah, that's
sorry
true.
If I'm hurting your brain, but
it's definitely like they have their own versions of things. Like you can't. You are just dying.
I'm dying right now. I said have so many times. Yeah, like this.
No, like if you're expecting.
Suicide. Let's talk about the suicide shower.
Suicide shower.
I've never experienced a suicide shower, and I'm pretty sure many people won't, because we Googled it and it said Ethiopia and Brazil.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 countries that allow.
Yeah, because their electric laws are different. So
yeah.
Like a suicide shower pretty much is that there's a device, an electrical shower head that's connected to a water pipe. An electrical shower head that's connected to a water pipe. And that electrical shower head has wires coming out of it.
I got electrocuted at least twice.
The shower head has wires that run across the top of actually no. The first time we went in there, it wasn't running across the wall. The wires were completely exposed.
Yeah, they were covered as far as the copper inside the wire, but they were just like in America, like we put the wires inside.
They were just like not like this, but they were just like dangling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like imagine this is not
over
this part.
Over your shower, yeah. And
you're showering and there's a wire above you.
Yeah. So basically cold water comes out and it's hitting this device that the electricity heats it up right in that moment. But anyways, it was a poor experience and it was something we had to overlook. But eventually we got a water heater installed. But like, that's an example of something that, you know, if you know you're used to something, or you know it's
yeah, like if you're expecting something, like if you see something, don't expect that they actually have it. Like, you need to like get there and see for yourself, and if it's not there, then you need to be asking for those things as advertised.
Yeah. So just have an open mind, you know. Let go of your ways of saying like America has this, why don't they have this? Just have an open mind.
Let me add to this. If you think that you can go there and complain to a manager, complain to someone and get your complaints heard, that's not going to happen. You are on your own.
In Ethiopia particularly.
Yeah, like in America, if we were to go to an immigration office and they were to treat us so poorly as we got treated in Ethiopia, we could complain to someone. We could move up and up and up and up and up the ladder because our needs were not met as customers, and they could have disciplinary action or what have you. Ethiopia, you can send all the emails, you can call all you want, you ain't gonna get no response. And even when you're in the moment and you're with a supervisor, you're with a manager, you're just barely gonna get your needs met. So
yeah, that's the beauty and the beauty and the flaw about Ethiopia.
I love Ethiopia.
Yeah,
let me tell you, let me get into the country, but the immigration,
yeah,
overlooking that.
Yes, overlook. Don't forget that, overlook. You know, even coming back here, I've learned now I must overlook things here too.
Oh, yeah, too.
So I'm glad I went to Africa, because before there were so many things in America that was disturbing my peace, and I didn't realize it was disturbing my peace, but it was. And like, coming back now, I just overlook everything now, because I know here is not my home anymore. I know this is what this is now, and I have to deal with what this is to get back to, you know,
your real home,
to my real home. So, you know, give thanks to the continent for teaching me so many lessons. You know, no school could have taught me that. But last thing, I don't know if this is number 6 or number 7 tip. The last thing is, let's see if I remember, because I just had it in my mind. What was it? Do you remember the last thing?
Where's the phone?
The last thing, I just had it on my head. Oh, the last thing was unlock phone.
Oh my goodness.
Unlock phone.
Yes. You need to bring a phone that's internationally unlocked.
Internationally.
Not a phone that's unlocked domestically, because once you leave your country, it's not going to be unlocked. It's not unlocked.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure, like, when you have that phone, make sure you call your carrier company or whoever you bought it from and make sure it's unlocked for international carriers. So when you go to Ethiopia or you go to whatever country, you can just insert a SIM card. Now, when one thing, we bought Google Fee did not work when we were in Ethiopia. It had to be set up in America. So if you're going to use Google Fee or something similar to Google Fee, make sure that you set that thing up in your country. So when you travel internationally, if it says that you need to set it up there so it can work wherever else you go. Yeah.
Set up everything you need pre-America, you know. I mean,
pre-African country.
Pre-African country, not pre-America, yeah. Because you when you get there, like Ethiopia, I did not know about this verse. Like, number one, I didn't even know I was going to Ethiopia. So I feel like all of our troubles really came because we did not plan for Ethiopia.
Yeah.
We planned all this advice and experience we're sharing is like, we had this down pat for Ghana. Like, and we had our connections and family in Ghana, so we were good. But it's like Ethiopia, it was just like we rolled the dice, and I'm glad we did. But so many things, we learned all these things so we could share it and like avoid these things next time. But you know, bring an internationally unlocked phone. Sorry, my brain is okay. I need some water.
Okay.
But yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and thank you for riding it out. I mean, that was a very long, interesting video, but continue to like our videos and subscribe. We're trying to reach 200 subscribers, as Darian mentioned in the beginning of the video, and we appreciate the support thus far. And yeah.
Yeah, bless up on yourself, people. Please remember, it don't cost $2 to hit subscribe, and it don't cost $1 to hit a like.